actually picked all the party leaders by the neck.
We haven't had to go there yet.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, okay. We're going to watch closely. John, thank you very, very much. Best
Thank you.
In the meantime, even some Democrats have been crunching some of the numbers that John has and concluded there really is no way to avoid this tax crunch, including my next guest, financial analyst Uri Man. Uri, good to have you. And John Runyon pointing out something that is pretty much a given, I don't think, regardless of the party you're in, that if we keep this up and we're not going to get spending under control, then taxes will go up, and maybe substantially. And a value-added tax isn't just a remote possibility. It's getting increasingly to look like a probability. What do you think?
No, I agree with you 100%. You know, not all things that come from Europe are bad. A value-added tax, I'm in favor of for a number of reasons. First of all, not having a value-added tax today puts our U.S. manufacturers at a huge disadvantage. It's been estimated that it's about a $500 billion disadvantage to the U.S. economy, because what happens is these countries that are exporting products where there are VAT taxes get rebates, and they also tax products that are coming in. So just to give you a simple example, if we had a car company in the United States sending a car to Germany, let's say a $23,000 car, it gets taxed 6% when it enters Germany and then ends up being priced at about $26,000. Whereas the same car, which is leaving Germany, manufactured in Germany, comes to the United States, receives a rebate of about $3,000. So essentially the same car gets sold for under $20,000 in the United States. So it's a big disadvantage for U.S. car companies.
Well, leading that aside, you're
right
about that. You're right about that, and it's an excellent way to get into, but probably for another show. On this, I want to focus on just the idea here of whether this even works. Now, across Europe, it's largely a 20% national sales tax, so it could take a $20,000 car and make it $24,000. It would take in this country, a $500 iPad and make it $600, and on we go. I'm just wondering if that's the way we go, and it wouldn't be instead of income taxes, it would be in addition to income taxes. That has got to be a drag on an economy, doesn't it?
Well, Neil, I'll argue that it is somewhat of a regressive tax, and that is a good thing, because it allows us to spread the tax burden across the entire country. Right now, about 50% of the United States effectively pays no taxes, and by doing this, you're able to spread the tax burden and reduce corporate tax rates in the future and income tax rates.
But
so
that, well, you assume. I don't know. You're assuming that's the case. I think that given the revenue potential from this, who's going to drop the income tax or contain the income tax increases when you've got this huge gravy train coming in VAT taxes, which are substantial and instant? I don't know. I think they're going to keep everything, don't you?
Well, I mean, it looks that way by the way they're spending today. It's unfortunate that our country continues to spend, and basically pretend. But hopefully in the future we can get this under control. But I do think a VAT would be positive for the country in general.
I would agree that it was just the VAT and not on top of it. The layering on doesn't worry you?
Right.
Okay.
No, yeah, the layering on does worry me, and I would hope that eventually we could move to a system where we have much clearer tax purposes and we have more of essentially these indirect taxes. Income taxes are considered direct because you can't pass them from one person to the other. Whereas, with a VAT, you have the advantage where you can have certain services not be subject to the VAT, so you can encourage growth in the economy that way.
We'll watch it. Thank you very much. You're in Florida. All right, so let's say we had a national sales tax on a just recovering national economy. Then what? So Jonathan Hoenig and Megan Carberry, Tom Belisas, and Quentin Harney. Now, Quentin, I just finished reading your wonderful Forbes cover story on Mark Hurd over at HP. It was very, very good. And I'm thinking we start slapping a sales tax on all those computers and HP printers that he sells and all the other fancy stuff that he's getting into. Trouble, no?
Neil, we complain about the deficit, we talk about wasteful spending, but the failure to collect enough revenues is part of the puzzle. Now, I think taxing consumption is probably a good way to go. So is getting rid of a lot of loopholes that are given to large corporations, including, I'm sorry to say, HP. But I think this is a step in the right direction, yeah.
Tom, I would actually agree with him. It's a momentarily weak event here on my part, but what Quentin is saying, I agree with. I think we should have a consumption tax if that's where we go.
Get that man to a hospital.
I'm kidding here. I just think that wait, hold on, Megan, okay? I'm just saying, do you think that we need both? Why do we have to have both?
We don't need both. First of all, Neil, what problem is a VAT, tax going to solve? Deficits? Well, I have an answer to our dear government. Spend less.
Well, they can't. They
It's
can't,
ironic.
they won't, they don't.
Well, Neil, it's ironic that Obama campaigned on wealth redistribution and taxing the rich. Now, all of a sudden, he flip-flops, and he's going to implement another regressive tax to the low-income earners, which is going to hurt the most, which he campaigned that he wanted to help the most. I mean, it's comical. I mean, it really is.
Megan, comical?
I think that I want to spend more efficiently. I'm hearing a lot of these things, and they're great points.